Hello, Sunshine Community. We are back. It is me, your host, Deathline, joined by my co-host, Yato. Hello, Yato.
Hello.
So yeah, week 5. Got some fun stuff happening this week.
Week 5 was a good week.
It was
Was a good week.
really good for some and not good for others.
Yeah, I mean good week for gaming. That is what I mean.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Week 5 is the final week of the regular season for season 4.
Mhm.
Um, And this week basically determined a lot for playoffs. So starting off, we had you versus Bread Ghost, which you took the victory 13-9 in draft. Let's go ahead and have you walk us through this match because I didn't get to watch it too much.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Rudier.
Here the draft was like normal. I think we drafted. I think the only like mistake of the draft
Mm-hmm.
was for my part taking 6 pipes instead of 16 pina
Mm-hmm.
plus. That was definitely something I would to change in my draft if I could like play again. And what I did, I remember, was like a little Sirena play
Mm-hmm.
with bosses and trying to get a lot of secrets during the way. So at the end, like I did like a world tour for the bosses. Also, see, I had one secret in gelato and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you got your 4 uniques right at the 30-minute mark,
Yeah, that was it.
and then you got 10 yellow button 3 minutes
But
later.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah, because
Bread didn't
at
click
that,
16 pinna until the 46-minute mark.
yeah, that was like something weirder because I remember asking Breath Ghost about that. Was if he did 16 pina when?
Mm-hmm.
That was my question because I was feeling that he was in pina like earlier, but I didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
And
definitely could have
then
had
yeah,
that goal if you wanted it, but you just chose to ignore it
Mhm.
to catch up on Shine progress.
Yeah, for me at that point, I wanted to secure a few goals on Pina with secret stuff more than blues, honestly.
I see that, yeah. 6 pipes, finally gets clicked.
But if you see, like at the end, the only blue goals I took was 8 Sirena and 80 Sirena. That's like the only
Noki
one.
hundreds, 3 fruit ladies you got. Bread got 5 reds and 5 Biancos. Oh man, this match went a long time.
Yeah, it was a little long.
Almost an hour and a half. Um, yeah, it kind of looks like you got all the shine progress stuff, other than like the blues out of Serena, and then
Mhm.
Bread got a lot of the blues goals. Basically, only blues, other than the. Oh well, got some reds. Shine 7 shine secrets was a steal after you won 5 secrets, and then 5 Bianco as well.
Oh yeah, the Sunshine Secret was also a little mistake from my part, uh, because I did pin a 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like, who I can do pin a 6 for 5 secrets,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended with 6 secrets shines.
Aw, man, yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
But yeah, that was a really important win for you.
yeah.
Taking the win
This
here
match was very important for
for both of
both
you.
players.
Yeah. So well
Well,
played
was good.
there.
I think yeah, was good.
after that, we had Google Cheese versus Darkman on in draft. Darkman taking the also 13-9 victory. I kind of skimmed this match, and it just seemed in general that Darkman had a more clear win con at the end compared
Hmm.
to Google Cheese's route.
The only like real, not problem, but um, definitely something that changed is if you see the two first goal of Google Sheets were 100 coin shine in a boss chain and
Yeah,
200s.
200s.
And I think that for early game is a little too much. And that caused him not only like being behind, but also like you don't have a lot more than your opponent. That is the thing.
Yeah, so like right now it's a lot to a little.
Hmm.
So we see GC goes to Pinna, gets 2 secrets, 1 level there eventually. Darkman sniped out 4 secret shines. And GC just did a Pinna IW. Damn. 6 Pinna, 2 S1L, Pinna shot a Mario 8 from 1. 1 episode 8.
Hmm.
While Darkman basically got everything else. Damn, Pinna's really good
Yes.
here, but kind of rough when you. Yeah, because there's also a good amount of Serena on this card. 8 Serena, 18 Serena, 4 Serena, 5 bosses. That's all really nice together. 4
Hmm.
secrets early on with Serena is pretty strong. If you can also do 2 secrets, 1 level, so that steal is pretty big for GC. But
Hmm.
and then yeah, I think yeah, Darkman ends up winning 7 shines and secrets after the fact with the Serena play, and
Yeah. In
then
general, if you do like Sirena, at least for 18, you will probably win 7 shines in secrets.
one out Delfino Turbo, which is pretty impressive despite doing 4 out of Serena at the minimum.
Yeah.
Because that means they also
It's
did pin a 4. So
yeah, but also it's not that weird, I feel. Like uh okay, Google says this the problem with the handles at the
mm-hmm.
beginning is really two handles put you behind on shine count.
Yeah,
And
it's not a bad play when you're pretty speedy, but when you're not like super fast, which neither player here is like
mm,
super fast, so I guess it's fine because the equivalent skill balances out. But um, it bleeds into the 30-minute time really hard, so it gets
and
harder
also
to set up and do some other
Darman
stuff.
yeah, and also Darman collected like a lot of blues
Mm-hmm.
that made him make it possible to like trade and go more shine count in the bank and stuff like that.
Yeah, GC got 15 from 3, but Darkman got basically every other Blues goal,
Hmm.
and I'm sure it was up to 15 Delfino shines. So just based on the 65 totals click, so pretty good from Darkman there. And then to close out Wednesday, we had Despin versus Dex and Invasion. Despin taking a commanding 13-7 victory, which I did not get to watch basically any match that was not on the weekend. But what I remember is Dex lost Bianca Hidden, and then from there they kind of cried
Yeah. Yeah,
because
that is basically.
Row 1's pretty solid. Row 5's not bad, but I can see some of the issues. Like 3 rockets,
uh,
pin a 5 to back coverless, and 2 hits with level takes quite a lot of setup to get through.
hmm. And also like the next other fast goal is like 50 total. Like what?
Yeah,
It's like a
so
weird base to work. And also the row 4 is not that helpful.
yeah, like
Everyone.
4 bosses is okay, but everything else is like kind of gross. Like Rico Hidden is fine because it works towards a rocket and 2 hiddens 1 level, but it kind of
Hmm.
sucks to play out of.
And also this match was special because Despin did Galapagos in Nuki 6.
Oh yeah, that did happen. So
That
You
was the fifth secret.
can
Was
see
Loki six.
Dex progressing through, gets Wiggler, Dustbin's up in Noki now, 2 from 5, Cannonballs,
Mm-hmm.
5 Boss, 2 Piantissimo, 5 from 3 into 5 Secrets. Yeah, Noki here is actually a really big brain. It could see so much value. And it's like Dex really can't afford to click 2 Piantissimo either, but like they kind of need to. But it's just like so hard to get that click out of this starting base because it does not like push you towards Pianta or Gelato too heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Dex maybe got 10 yellow button coins before Despin, it could have been fixable, but this is like really hard to work with.
Um, yeah, the touch yellow button was probably a click that hurts a lot to Dex. Like, is the other possible goal in row 3.
Mm-hmm. Not winning 3 secrets is also pretty big, but I don't think Dex was going to be able to win that regardless. Just out of
Mm-hmm.
just seeing, Bianca hit in 15 Ember Feeties and 3 secrets. I mean, that's like pretty
Yeah,
easily
that means
attainable.
like 2 secrets and 1 pin and more, and you're done. So yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but Despin also did a very cool Galapagos in Noki 6, which Noki 6 is pretty rare in Bingo, so there's that. Oh yeah, we had one more Wednesday match. I forgot about that. The cursed Tober versus Game Stabled. Tober taking the victory 13-9. This match was played hoverless.
Yes.
So
I remember entering to the stream, seeing they are not using the hover,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Wait, why are they doing that strat?" And then I realized what was happening.
Hello, Jeff. If I didn't say hello, Jeff already. Yeah. So they basically did the same route for like 15 M graffiti's, but Tober ended up winning it slightly. And then Game
Yeah.
Stabled hard committed 100% a boss, which then Tober went to like and Rico as well. And then Tober went to like Pinna. And then just like Pinna kind of carried for a little bit. And then it became a Pianta damageless race, Pianta 3 damageless race, which Tober was up to. And then just like delayed it.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost the click. And then got 16 Pianta instead, and then game went to Serena where after doing Pianta hundreds, where Tober was going to go do Pianta hidden with 4 reds, and then yeah, game went to Serena, and then blah 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 blah. Tober wins Delphino Turbo. Game gets 5 bosses. This was the Tober had a rough time doing Pianta hidden here, hoverless, and Game still had a hard time getting up to Noki 2 to get the boss for 5 bosses, so that was entertaining. And like Game's getting all these clicks, but like Tober's actually ahead to just a good majority here, other than like 4 Serena and lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see all the brown clicks coming in here.
Yeah.
Like all of that. It's like Tober was ahead too, and like Game almost managed to sneak in a 12 from 4 steal, but it was just like slightly too late for that to happen. So Tober just had a lot more general setup, which was nice.
Yeah, you can say like in a moment they were like tired, like tight,
Mm-hmm.
and then.
Yeah, Tober just starts clicking a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this match went an hour and 40 minutes basically. It's pretty long.
But it was a gamer match.
It was a gamer match of hoverless.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming up on Thursday, we had Darkman versus Earthide in Lockout. Marked 3-1. I don't know if that was actually Lockout or if this is Row Control. This looks like Row Control. Okay.
This was like.
It's listed as Lockout, but it's most definitely played as Row Control, so that's nice.
3, 6, 9. Yeah, this is Robin too.
So 3-1 Darkman. starts off with the Rico. So they split Rico here, which is actually pretty interesting. Earthside goes deeper in Rico, while Darkman starts to do all this nice blue setup. Gets 3 secrets, which is a really big goal to win in row 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of the row 3 goals are kind of meh, other than pin 100s. So that's really good to get those 2. Earthside does Bianca 100s, which might just be due to being new to bingo and routing experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think here when you saw the Rico 3 hoverless click, instead of doing like the Rico hidden, I think I can saw like the experience of Darkman playing bingo. Because if you saw like the rest of the rows, probably you prefer to get shine progression instead of one hidden.
Oh yeah, man. Because like M graffitis, 2 rockets, 3 secrets, 3 secret, 2 secrets 1 level, 2 turbos, 3 secrets. That's all just like play out the game and get shines. So
6 shines from 2 wars, Ryu Yoshi in 2 wars.
oh man, yeah, that's just a lot of shine progress stuff on this card and just a few boost goals.
And you didn't have like any other hidden goal in the card, making that the shine progression in being like more good here.
So yeah, Darkman basically gave up row 4, which I think is a good play here because this just takes a long time to do, other than like 17 M graffitis. And then just basically claims everything else on the card. Got 8 Delfino as a backup. Got 2 rockets, 6 from 2. Lost pin 100s, but I mean, when there's Eel and Eel blues on the card, that's a nice backup to win the game.
And that was the last 2 clicks.
Yeah. So yeah, Darkman is pretty experienced at routing now, I would say, especially for row control, considering that's like all they played season 4. This poor soul has played row control like 4 out of 5 times, and I've played row control 0 out of 5 times, so I'm crying.
Everyone banned row control against you. That happened when you are good at the row control.
Just let me play the one format I enjoy playing, please. I'm so tired of playing Invasion. I hate it. It's not fun because I lose.
By the way, now in playoffs, you can play row control and another.
That is true. I do get to pick 2 formats, at least in the round 1, so I can finally play row control and be happy. After that, we had Peaches versus Reed in row control as well. Peaches taking 3-1, which this match was actually pretty close, all things considered. So, I mean, it looks kind of like a straight 9-goal rush from Peaches, but if the TLDR of this match was if Reed actually ever just did 100 coin signs in a secret with Gelato 100s, Peaches was like Omega screwed. Because Peaches did not touch row 1 or row 2 this card. So, 5 links, a whole bunch of things are happening. Misclicked 5 links, got 5 links, got 15 Bianca blues, 3 blue trades, 45 total, just clicking a whole bunch of stuff. Reed gets turbo as their first click, and boss rematch, so Bianca or Rico, I don't know which one this was. 3 boss, 7 links, so row 4 is gone, 2 gelato hiddens, 4 boss, so like row 1 and 2 are like extra dead at this point. Which I think Which I think this is like a nice and fine play from Reed, and like Peaches like then like hard commits like the gelato 100s in the secret, which if Reed did that like right here instead of 2 gelato hiddens, that might have been like huge for Reed to win this match, but Reed just didn't want to do slow stuff because 100s in a secret are slow, and gelato 100s is kind of niche knowledge. More players are learning it, but it kind of sucks because that shine in general sucks. Not a good 100s.
Yeah, the other 100 in a secret can be a little messy sometimes.
Gelato 100s in general sucks.
Yeah, Gelato 100.
And that version of it sucks like probably, I think that's probably like top 3 worst gelato hundreds. It is
Nah,
not fun.
yeah,
It's pretty
I would say
bad.
top five.
It's pretty bad. And then you always have the possibility of pulling a tray instead of the secret,
Mhm.
so that's not good. But from there, it was kind of hard for Reed to catch up and win out
Mhm.
row 2. So he just
And
rushes
and also I can
these.
see like the difference between the player styles, the like the style of the players because
Mhm.
Peaches took like a lot of blue goals, routing blues, that and all that stuff, and Reed took like
All the shine progress.
all the shine progress was for Reed, yeah.
Peaches literally clicked only 2 shine progress goals, which is gelato hundreds and hundreds in his secret.
And I don't know if I can consider that a
That's not
shine.
even shine progress. That's just shines.
Yeah.
It's literally progress to get to 5 shines and open gelato. So yeah, that's pretty funny. But that was a good win for Peaches because they needed that in a other match to go their way to sneak in to a
Mhm.
certain position spot that we'll be talking about. Um, Friday we had a big match here with Libre versus Schmidt in draft. Libre taking that 13-11. Um, kind of skimmed this match. Is this the match I skimmed with Libre? I can't even remember.
Libre only play one match this week.
Might be thinking of last week's match. So let's see.
What happened? What I remember from this card was, uh, okay, Schmidt begins to take like blues stuff, Rico
Mm-hmm.
blues, and then Elemental Pharos. Then Libre took two Rocket Nozzles, Bianco Hidden, five NPC blues, and if you see like Schmidt is taking a lot of blues goals, and
Mm-hmm.
Libre is doing like the other way, that is two hidden red hoverless,
Yeah, that and
and
Rockets bosses. That's
mhm,
all nice.
yeah.
These are all unclicks. These are all unclicks. Okay. Here, Schmidt gets 5 linked pairs.
And what I remember was uh, a misread from Schmidt, don't knowing where is him in Pina.
Mm.
That was the thing.
Hidden Red
Where
Cyberless.
is Libre in Pina? And that make like be taking some decision that could like being different in the game.
Oh yeah, I do remember hearing about this call because Libre ended up going to do 4 gelato shines with gelato hundreds, but not doing gelato hundreds in a secret because they were just more comfortable with doing it in episode 2.
Mhm. Yeah.
I remember Schmidt like saying like I didn't know if that was a huge bait or not, which I think it was a fine play by Libre, even if it was like not intended to be like a huge
Uh,
bait for Schmidt to end up having to do that goal later. Um, Yeah, Schmidt winning Noki, Libre winning the rest of Rico, and Shine Progress with 3 from 4.
mhm.
Gets thrown a hidden, which is huge. Schmidt committed a bunch of time after Noki to do hundreds in a secret,
Yeah,
35
and
totals.
that hundred in a secret was fine. I think the decision to do hundred in a secret was fine,
Mm-hmm.
but in that case wasn't a good decision because Libre did instead uh, Pianta
Mm-hmm.
Pianta progress to Shadow Mario
Both Shadow
because Libre
Marios.
has Bianco 6 open. No, he finished Bianco 6,
Mm-hmm.
so he had Bianco Shadow Mario open for in case of something really bad happen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that that
That's
was like
that's pretty
that
smart.
decision.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Schmidt basically got mostly blues this card. Yeah, pretty much got
But it was
just
fine. I
blues.
think that when Schmidt took the decision to do 100 in a secret
Mm-hmm.
was a good decision but Libre did the other decision.
Yeah. So it's good for Libre. Libre taking the big dub here and manages to claim a Division 2 spot
uh,
entering week 6, at least for adjustment week. So pretty good.
no, Libre has to play Adjustment Week.
Yeah, but they get to stay from Division 2 side
Oh,
instead of
yeah, yeah,
playing
yeah.
from Division 3 side.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
So they get to pick the format against
yeah. Giving the four.
Blaze, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes.
So we will come back to Sid versus Juka. We had you versus Sid in draft. You won 13-11, which is a big victory for you.
Yeah,
You guys
this
at
victory
you guys at
was very.
oh, nice timestamp. You guys at first played on. You guys drafted on a 3.1 card, which had like way more hundreds, and then we're like, that's not a 3.2 card, and then you guys were all right, we'll play on 3.2, and then it became this, which is like way less cool. Um, so this is the draft, I believe. What, right there, maybe? I can't even tell. The card's borked, so I can't tell if this is just what happened or
Oh,
not.
wait, what? Ah, because this was draft, right? Uh,
You should know better than
yeah.
I would.
Okay. The wait, I don't remember the draft. That is my problem. Uh, I can get the card. Give me 1 sec. I can get the card of that.
Yeah, from a match.
That was Bingothon or Sunshine Community?
Bingo-thon.
Bingothon, okay.
It's in Match VODs. We have a channel for that.
No, yeah, I was searching the card. Okay, I found the card. Yes. Um. Okay.
Yeah, card kind of borked here on SMS.bingo, which is unfortunate.
Oh wait. Okay, here. Okay, I took 23 Rico Blues as my first draft.
Mm-hmm.
Sid took 2 Rocket Nozzles and 20 Bianco Blues. At that point, I saw the the Bianco like blue stuff that was a little weird,
Mm-hmm.
and I took like 20 blues from 2 levels because I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, see, if you want to trade, we can trade. And then I take like the 5 enemy blues because have Bianco stuff and Rico stuff. See, take the Hando. That was something I wanted to draft. And then I took 16 Pina blues and 15 Delfino. That was the draft. And
Mm-hmm.
then the play was a little forward, I think. Uh, I begin with Hidden in Bianco.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say like, okay, I can do like links, blue stuff, bosses. Oh wait, no. Oh, okay, that was weird. Okay. No, yeah, yeah. I'm curious. I
I
think
think
I something happened with colors.
you. Yeah, I think you ended up stealing out rockets in episodes, which was really huge for you when
Ah, I
Sid.
was blue. Okay. That was I was so confused of the
Yeah,
colors.
you played blue this
I was
match.
blue. Okay, yeah.
Um,
Okay, yeah.
Cause yeah,
Now I
you
remember.
stole those, and then Sid ended up taking 5 linked pairs, and I remember I was like, Yato just has to like not care about linked pairs anymore, because like you went and did like a bunch of slow stuff like gelato hiddens early on, but it was like fine because you got like a really good steal
Yeah.
with 2 rockets, I think.
Yeah, okay. Now I remember good. Yeah. I I still 9 episodes and I did enter to Pina to look for my links.
Hmm.
Then I saw the click and I was like, okay, no more links for me.
Yeah, then you just give up links and then you move on, which worked
Yeah.
out because
And then Sid forgot about yellow button.
yellow button, so that got you got that click, which was huge.
Yeah, I remember at that point of the game, I was like, wait, 10 yellow bottles is still open? Well, I can go for that, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
it worked. And I was like, wow. Because I wanted anyways to go to Bianco, to Pina 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because Delfino Turbo was something I wanted.
Yep.
Uh, and when I was open, I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. And
Yeah.
then I did like a little Sirena to the 2 from 7, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had enough progress at the end after doing. Yeah, because you got Delfino Turbo while doing. Uh,
13 Delfinos and
the 13
2
Delfinos,
Shines.
yeah, because 2 from 7 at that point, Sid was like F, because they were like finishing up Serena stuff, so they went to go do Bianco hundreds, and then
Mm-hmm.
getting Delfino Turbo while you got 13 Delfino, you already had like through Noki 2 or 3 done, so then you
Yeah.
had an eel win con, which was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Really good routing from you. Yeah, this
Yeah,
card. This is the correct card. It's just kind of borked on SMS Bingo because of
yeah,
how the site takes the card
the
from
draft. And also was a weird match at the beginning. We did a draft with a lot of handles, and then someone realized it wasn't a good patch, so we
Mhm.
had to change.
Yeah, but you going 2-0 this week was huge because that put you
Yeah,
just enough to be solidified in Division One.
yeah. That with this to win, I was solidified on 7th seed, and depending
Yeah,
of the match with about Peaches
Mason.
and Mason, uh, that changed the
Yep. So.
stuff.
After you two, we had Blaze and Google Cheese. Row control. Blaze taking that 3-1. Um, yeah, this was very much more convincing than when I first watched Blaze play row control.
Mm-hmm.
Blaze actually they went to Bianco hidden and then they just like were like so far in the lead and then they started like just doing other things and then they died at the end of Bianco hidden, so they lost that goal. And then like they basically did the same thing for like the first like 30 so minutes. So
Yeah.
GC is just now following Blaze through Rico, and for Rockets 4 from 2, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
just like
following
it's just like
someone that is faster.
yeah, more and more clicks just to keep coming in green. And then like GC like eventually diverts back to Bianco and then goes after doing like Rico hundreds as well. But like at this point, it's just like it's so rough when you're down like this much in row control. It gets like really hard to come back from this.
Yeah.
So you can see more green clicks just from the routing. GC finished out 8 Serena to solidify row 4, which Blaze didn't even want anymore. And then 3 Rockets, 12 Noki. Which was pretty close, I think. That was a race at the end, but Blaze just had a little bit of more time to spend a Noki than GC did.
Mm-hmm.
They both didn't really know the 12 Noki route, so that was interesting
And
to
both
watch.
had little problems during the road.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but Blaze was like before
Yeah.
with the 3 rocket nozzles. Blaze took the 2 blues there. And...
Yeah. So it was a tough match to play from behind, but Blaze definitely showing they've progressed a lot from the start of the season in learning how to route. So well played
Gamer
to
blessed.
them.
Yeah. Really solid match.
Sunday we had. I can't even view these matches because they're not even inputted yet. That's tragic.
Oh.
Well, we had Jukatox versus Schmidt in Invasion, 13-7. This card was kind of a scam. It wasn't like impossible from column 5, but it really sucked. So Juka won the 15 Bianco Blues race by a
Yeah.
little bit, and then like Schmidt just had like a really bad time trying to finish out what they needed. So Juka finished his 20 Bianca Blues. Schmidt had to exit area and then re-enter for Bianca for Harborless. Had a rough time getting turbo. They landed on the box when falling down, so they had to stand there for a minute and wait for it to despawn and respawn. And then like Schmidt kind of needed to steal 8 Serena, but I think they were a little spooked from it because of the amount of time they spent. So they went to go set up instead back into their home of Gelato, which is column 5 basically. And like Juka got like all of these clicks for like basically free. She could have stole 4 unique for a while, but she just opted to not, and instead focused 12 and 4, which is not super necessary, but it was still part of her win con.
I think it was fine. I think it was fine.
Yeah, it was
And
fine. It's just like if you click 4 unique from column 1, like it's like
you destroy it,
yeah,
right?
it's like extra over for column 5 because like column 4 has 4 unique and Wiggler, and then you have 5 Gelato Shines and Sandbird Blues in column 5. So it's like you need to get those 4 clicks for like 100% sure. And if you even lose like one of them, then it's just like pain early on because you're spending so
But it
much
was
time in
already pain.
Gelato. So yeah, Schmidt just kind of went with the route. Finally finished out 8 Serena. Juka went back for 6 Pinna. You see the remaining clicks out of Gelato that Schmidt was delaying. Juka got Lily Pad, 2 from 5, and then yeah, both Goldbirds, Delfino Turbo.
Mhm.
So yeah, this was a rough card to play from column 5. Not impossible, but definitely kind of sucked.
It was column 5. Column 5 was horrible, and yeah, column 1 was good combination with column 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have 5 links, triple trades, 7 links. You have like good synergy. Smith didn't have a good synergy. That's a good question, Breakthroughs.
I don't know if that's actually how it happened, because I know site data with timestamps are sometimes incorrect.
Yeah. Sometimes can happen. I remember. Sometimes can happen though.
But otherwise, maybe people just didn't notice, and at that point, it still didn't matter too much.
Imagine, so Smith Yuga
Needs to be replayed now because
need to replay now.
toxic illegal click in column 2. I actually don't remember if Juka actually did 6 Penna before Goldbirds. I literally cannot remember. So, I mean, even if they did, it like doesn't really matter that much. Like it kind of does because Schmidt had an available column 4 or column 2 click, but like it was like effectively dead from like this point.
Yeah, that point was wrong.
Anyways, that aside, it was a pretty strong showing from Juka. So, and then Schmidt just kind of got bullied into this column from speed. So, following that, we had Abosher versus Bread Ghost in draft. Abo taking the victory 13-7. Both drafts were actually really solid. Bread had a little bit more Rico with some blues, and then Ombo had some Bianco with blues. Both that are really like even drafts, but it's like pretty obvious that Ombo wants to go from Bianco to Rico here. Bread has like the option to just like, I mean, yeah, they need to do Rico and then just can like feign some progress elsewhere. It was clicked and immediately unclicked. Yeah, that happens. Because once you click a goal once, it's permanently clicked on the board on SMS Bingo. because of
Mhm.
how site data carries over. So, nope, and that's why all draft matches are pain to look at on the boards, as you will see here. So we have that. We have that. So these are all like the pre-draft goals
It's amazing. Bread
right
goes
here.
did take
So
Bread goes did
Bread did these two Rico goals and then did boss rematch in Bianco, while Ambo basically did just Bianco to Rico to Gelato to Pena, I think, here.
Mhm.
So you can see all these unclicks now become shown up, which
Yeah.
these are the people that ended up clicking them later. You can see Bread now clicking 15 Bianco at the 32-minute mark. Ambo got 16 Pena, and then finished out 3 from 4. Went and did the Rico hundreds and hundreds in a boss episode play that wasn't drafted. And then got basically all the Pena goals because Bread was just slightly too far behind in Pena to catch up. So got the trinity of 5 secrets, 5 reds, 5 hiddens on this card, while Bread just trailed Pena too hard. Did go to make the call to go to Bianco because they already did episode 6 at that point. And sniped one episode 8 out from Ambo, but it didn't matter at that point because Ambo had so much
So much,
availability with what
yeah,
they could
so
have done
much
here.
options.
Yeah, Ambo Connect 5 and almost did it twice. Actually, almost 3 times on this card.
Wow. So
Um,
this was a non-lookout game.
So it was basically Bread just spent a little too long in Bianco here and then just couldn't catch up with the Pena progress, which was kind of tragic. So that was the TLDR of this match. You do not suck at this game. Shut up. Tired of it. You're a good player. As is Ambo.
Yeah.
And then from there, one of the biggest matches of the week, we had Peaches versus MD Mason 85 in lockout. Peaches taking the victory 13-9, but this was a very narrow win con.
This is a classic of all times.
So Mason started with 8 Serena because Serena had some pretty good value on this card. 8, 18, Serena hidden,
Six
pipes,
pipes.
3 secrets, that kind of stuff. 2 hiddens, 1 level.
Also bosses, if you
Bosses.
want.
Yep. So Mason started Serena, Peaches brushed Turbo, and Rockets. And then they split the option of Rico hidden in episode 4 here for the red, since there's 6 reds on the card. Mason did that while Peaches went to Gelato and got 3 secrets, which is like, damn. Peaches got 3 secrets when Mason starts Serena. That's kind of crazy. Finished out 7 enemies, penniless, while Mason then trades out to 9 Eps after Peaches goes on a blues adventure here, which 11 Delfino actually became really big towards later in the match when it was like, man, if Mason just like got that goal, Peaches would be crying.
Mm-hmm.
So Mason finishes out 2 hits 1 level in Rico, which Peaches reads as Serena for like the entire match. Because they double click that with pipes, which is like,
Wow,
you
that
double
is
click
so.
that and then it's like, wow, Serena hits on the card and you have 8 Serena. There's no way I'm not falling for this.
That's a good play. That kind of mental game it is funny.
Peaches finishes out 50 totals, 10 yellows in Pena. Mason gets a 2 from 5 click. Peaches ends up cleaning out 6 reds, barely loses 5 bosses to Mason, but gets 4 no key, and then later clicks Eel slightly after. Mason then opts to go back to Serena to finish out Serena 18 and then also grab the hit in there. And then Peaches gets these 75 totals and manages to snag for Gelato because it was right there. Now, had Mason had 3 shines out of Gelato, still had the hidden available, and already had 2 shines in Pianta done, whereas Peaches had 0. And then Mason was at like 15 lives, and then they were like at 13 Delfino shines with blue trades. So if Mason just like Mason was up to basically everything else on this card, but just needed to make a bunch of 50-50s and like properly time everything, and they had a really big win con. So if Mason had 11 Delfino, that would have changed the tide of this match. One big thing is like Peaches did like the shine progress stuff and lost 9 episodes. Mason did the 8 Serena secret setup, lost 3 secrets, which is like huge. Well, okay, Mason didn't have Delfinos, but they were doing Delfinos the entire time. They had more than you, I think. It was really close. Mason had like 30 blues. He had like 80, but it was a good match. It was really close.
Uh, the classic match of Peaches Mason is always a good match, I think.
So because of that, Peaches went 2-0, and then now is 1 point above me if I lose to JJ, which cry. Can't actually review matches that aren't on the website yet, so pain. We'll go back to Sid versus Juka then, as one of our highlight matches.
Ooh. Reload page said Dex.
I did reload the page. I reloaded it multiple times. I'm being lied to.
Wait. Let me try a thing. Ta-da.
Site update might be slow as well, so
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna review Sid Juka and then let it sit for a minute. And hopefully it'll figure it out. So Sid taking the win over Juka, 13-11, just in straight lockout. This match was pretty. Shush, I reload every time, anyways. This was a pretty fun match. So Sid got Bianco, Juka got Rico, and then Juka got all that. Sid got all that. This is all just like setup, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Sid eventually got 4 Gelato, which they did Gelato 2 in their 4 Gelato, and then like went back to do Gelato 1 Reds, I believe, when they could have done Wiggler for one of their 5 bosses. So that was a point of controversy, but it was fine anyways. Juka snagged 5 link pairs, 45 totals. Sid stealing, absolute scam of a steal of 4 Fruit Ladies when Juka was doing 7 Pinup Beach Blues because Juka hit lore. And because Juka hit lore, like everything in this match went just like super downhill from there. She had bad Pinup Beach Blues, which cost her that goal by like literally a second.
Oh right, yeah. You got to have to see lore. Yeah, that was true.
Which then Sid finishes out 8 Serena and 9 NPC Blues. Juka rushes 65 total. I mean, not rushes, but gets 65 total, 7 linked pairs. Finally claims out 2 rockets at the almost 45-minute mark in the match. 3 from 4 with Bianco. Sid finishing out 5 bosses, which was huge for the 2 from 7 progress, while Juka does Noogie hundreds. Sid did Bianco hundreds.
Also did Sirena for lives, I remember.
Yes, did Serena for lives, and then it was like
And pipes also.
it became a pipes and 6 from 2 race, and like Juka might have won 6 from 2 if she did Delfino plus Rico, because she had like 5 shines out of Rico or something, and like Delfino's pretty fast, but she opted to do 3 shines out of Pinna instead of Delfino, which ended up
Mm-hmm.
costing her just barely, just so barely, the 6 from 2 click. And then Sid was able to confirm the match out with Bianca Shadow Mario because they did Bianca 5 earlier in the match, which was a huge play for 5 bosses as well. But yeah, if Juka wins the 7 Pinna Beach Blues click, she basically wins because she had eel value here, where Sid did not.
All right.
So
Oh,
this
this
was
was more close.
super
Close.
close. And once again, getting lured into the loss.
Getting lower, yeah.
It was
It was a pretty good match for
pretty
both
painful.
players. And
But
it
yeah,
was fun to watch.
Sid taking their first season 4 win with this
Mm-hmm.
match. They went 1-4 in the regular season, so that was a really good match to watch live. Allegedly, if the site wants to work, yay, it works now. We can view the both JJ matches. We'll start with the one of today, JJ versus Rasmus in row control. JJ took this 3-0 pretty quickly. That's all the clicks Rasmus got. So JJ actually started out this match with a really crazy 150 Delfino rush while like opening up all the Plaza stuff into
Mm-hmm.
a Delfino into Pinna. Rasmus did the general setup, went to Bianca, went to Rico, I believe, got a bunch of blues, got 3 blue trades. And JJ was in Pinna just like by enough of a lead to get like all the Pinna goals. All of them. All of them. All that. All that right there. Got all of those clicks in row control. That's so painful to play against. Like all because of this like Delfino rush into Pinna, which just like usually doesn't work anymore in this meta, but it works out
Mm-hmm.
so well because of how strong Pinna was on this card. Which then Rasmus was kind of left with like what do. Got 4 bosses. JJ got 2 rockets, Noki hundreds, and then got the Goldbird, and then forgot that they already had 3 hit-ins. So because of the both Goldbirds click here from Rasmus, so they just like they had 3 hit-ins and they could have clicked it, and then they had the eel lead. But kind of forgot about it, and then Win did Fruit Ladies while Rasmus was chilling in Pinna, and then JJ finished out with a life grind after rushing through Fruit Ladies like their life depended on it. Hello, Mason.
This is so wild.
But
Hello, Mason.
yeah, this card is kind of crazy because there's also this like deep gelato counterplay here
Mm-hmm.
with turbos, rockets, wiggler, piantissimos,
10 yellow
10
buttons.
yellow button. And like if Rasmus like just made the call to go to gelato earlier instead of Pinna, they could have like hard countered JJ's route here and been still like a part of it with some blues here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of got caught just trailing in Pinna, which when you trail in Pinna, it tends to not work out very well. And that's not necessarily an affirmation that Pinna is a good world, but more of an affirmation that when you trail your opponent doing the same thing, it never works out well for you.
Yeah, especially in the thing with Pina is like he's such a central world with a lot of stuff. Like he opens not only like Pina stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but also Nokia stuff,
Yoshi.
Delfino stuff. So
Yeah, Delfino stuff, Yoshi. Alright, there's late game Pinna goals like Pinna Shadow Mario, 2 series 1 level. That's all really important. So JJ basically got all of the Pinna value, and it was really sick. And also ignored 16 Pinna Blues, which was really smart because they just didn't need it.
why doing a goal that you don't need?
Sometimes good, sometimes not. And this time it was not necessary for this RC match.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I don't even want to talk about this match because I'm still depressed about it. But
Uh, if you
questionably,
want.
questionably the best match of the season from what people are telling me in
Yeah,
don't
as
be
the
sad
perspective,
terms.
as a player,
JJ
as a viewer, that's true. I think.
JJ versus me invasion. JJ takes the win 12-11. Um, so
Wild match.
this card
Wild
kind of
match.
sucked. It didn't like actually. It actually wasn't that bad. I don't think this card was bad. I just think like it was really
Um,
hard for me to win this, just based on like what I saw on the starts. So column one was like a really good like just base, but column
yes.
three and column two sucked so
Hmm.
unbelievably bad to get through. And then it was like column five is really nice and column four is really nice, but there was like no good way to confirm column five quickly. So then it's like, okay, what about rows? Row one is okay. Row five is
Hmm.
not great, but this
It was
corner goal,
playable.
this corner setup with Rico hundreds and hundred a boss, I thought that was the only way to combat the turbo play, which is what I just assumed JJ was going to go for at the start, and I was correct.
Hmm.
Because I thought like if I did this and for some reason JJ does three reds because they just somehow don't see the column two, column three pain, then I'm happy because column five is nice. But in the event that they rush turbo, I can at least just start this and then just power rush 50 totals. Um, so JJ gets that click, and then I basically spent the next 20 minutes just rushing for my dear life to get 50 totals and 17 M graffitis. Which,
Yeah.
like, discuss all you want about how that was insanely greedy and how JJ should have had 17 M graffitis first, and, like, maybe I can win 50 totals, but um, personally, just from my point of view as the one who actually played the match, I really do believe from row five's perspective, if you don't get 50 totals, you just lose. Like you literally lose. And then like at that point, you might as well get 17 M graffitis at the same time if you can.
Hmm.
And I managed to win that because JJ was more focused on three reds into 50 totals.
Yes.
And then
Okay. Focus, focus. I don't think that is the correct word. JJ did actually took a lot of blues during the way.
well, okay, so yeah,
Wasn't that far? Wasn't that far for 50 totals?
JJ was at like 30 something, but wanted
Yeah.
three reds into 50 totals instead of 17 M's into 50 totals.
Hmm.
Um, which just that little amount of just gameplay decisions, I guess, routing decisions, made me sneak in this invade all the way up to JJ's base with a 5 link steal, which again some thought was questionable, some thought was
Hmm.
insane. Which in my opinion, I thought winning 5 links basically made this match even from row
It
five's
was.
perspective. Um,
No, okay. Here, okay. The thing here is, if you saw this and you saw the base of JJ,
yeah, you think
you
JJ just
think
loses from this
JJ is
point.
trouble. Yeah, JJ is trouble right now. Like JJ needs something to do with something, and you don't know what.
Which like I understand that point of view, but at the same time there's like nothing for me to click in row 5 because I rushed so hard. What I really think ended up deciding the match for me was I exited area out of gelato to go to Pianta to finish 15 totals and 17 M graffitis. I should
Instead
have
of doing the
greeded
second.
even harder and tried to finish either gelato 1 or the hidden.
Mm-hmm.
That way I wouldn't have to come back later for one from each, which is really what cost me at the end.
Yeah. No,
Um,
yeah, that makes sense.
and then like another decision. So that right there, in my opinion, might have been like the best invade I've ever done in my life, and probably might
Mm-hmm.
have been one of the best invades like all season. Um, so JJ finishes out three reds, gets that click. I from here I didn't know what to do, if I should rush 5 bosses or if I should do Bianca hundreds first. And I opted to do the Bianca hundreds in a secrets because I really wanted seven shrines and secrets play. So I did that with Rico 3 Hoverless, got those clicks. JJ spent basically all of this time from like here, just like doing Pinna into Noki. And they got 3 cannonballs, and then these 2 clicks came, and that flipped my world upside down.
Yes. Yeah. Now with the perspective of the viewer, put like a little before that happened.
Like
Like before,
right here.
yeah, right here. I remember like a few spectator was talking about something on Nogi. Like I remember Jeff and Juan maybe
Mm-hmm.
talking about. And I was with Mish, like with Schmidt, didn't was talking about the match, and then we saw JJ enter Noki 2, and we were like, "Oh yeah, JJ has Bianco Shadow Mario. That's nice." And then we saw JJ taking the going to the boss, and we say like, "Holy moly! What is the perspective of JJ right now? Like, what?" Because doing the Noki 2 was so unexpected for me. Was really unexpected. Honestly.
Yeah, I just did not see this Noki plus Bianca play like
Yeah.
whatsoever. Like I
Yeah.
really, really did think JJ was not going to care about Bianco after Bianca for the red. I did not consider for a moment in time JJ was going to ever try and go for 5 bosses.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
that and that was crucial.
I also kind of greeted for Rico hidden click with 5 bosses. I did Rico for reds before just finishing out 5
Hmm.
bosses, which might have
Yeah.
cost me. It was kind of close on timing. Um,
I
but
think pretty
JJ's
close.
JJ's big brain to do Noki 2 boss instead of
Oh
like
yeah.
go to Eel as their 5th boss got that click, and that just made me cry because I was like in Pinna 1. I had just started Pinna 1. I'm like, all right, now what the hell do I do? And like at this point, I could see the path of Noki, like Eel 10 yellow button because they had Pinna done. I knew they were probably set up for fight from 3. I figured Delfino Turbo was dead. I figured I was well behind in Shine Progress for 7 Shines and Secrets, which I still like. I had everything open. I needed to do Bianca 3, Bianca 3 reds, like Gelato 1 reds, and then like Pinna 2. Like I had like basically all of that open. But I made the call because I was so paranoid about 75 totals because I figured 50 totals was a race, which it was. Um, so I went to finish 5 NPCs into 75 totals,
Hmm.
which JJ was at like 60 something blues, which I was like, I feel like a little bit better about this play. It still doesn't feel correct to me at this point in time, but like I kind of needed it. And then
Yeah.
from here, I really suffered because I had to go back to Pianta and Gelato, and then also
And
do a
Gelato
Noki,
at the same time.
also do a Noki Shine from one from each, which I thought
Hmm.
I was losing one from each once JJ did these 2 clicks, 7 Shines and Secrets, 4 Eel Blues. I thought JJ had one from each at that point. I was like, I'm crying, I'm so crying. Instead, JJ finished out the 5 from 3 click, got the Final Turbo, like got all these clicks right here. Like that's pain. It's now like 11-9. I'm crying. So I'm still finishing out one from each. I get that, and finally my Rico hit and click. But by then, JJ had just enough of a lead into Delfino that I was too far
Hmm.
behind, and I couldn't catch up. And JJ got 9 Delfino. And then was just an EYG and Pinna 7 away from finishing the game, at which point I forfeited after losing 9 Delfino.
Hmm.
Um, but if I won 9 Delfino, at the end,
You.
you see me like go into Y cam, and you just see me like kind of like looking around. That wasn't because I was like just staring off into the distance. I was actually counting what pipes I had, and I was like, okay, I have 3 pipes right now, and me winning one from each tells me JJ does not have pipes somehow, or at least less than I do. So I would have hard rushed pipes, and that would have been the correct call.
Hmm.
Um, which I'm only up 3 pipes, and like I would have just committed, basically doing a Pianta IW at that point, and like JJ could have
Basically.
caught up if something happened, but that would have been my victory out of this match.
Hmm.
Um, but JJ basically out invaded my invade really hard, and then I
That amazing.
just needed some progress that I just didn't finish
Hmm.
out earlier in the match because of my greedy invade, which like the entire time from like right here, and I was like 70 coins into Rico 100s, right? I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
literally, I have to make this play, otherwise I just do not win. I literally have to do this greedy play, and I hope and pray to the world that I win this play.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, I don't know how I. If JJ rushes 79 graffitis and 50 totals, like they get those 2 clicks, and I get this, I don't know what to do from here. like,
No, yeah. At that
like,
point, you are like, wow.
sure, I could do 5 NPCs into 3 reds, and then like JJ would probably win 5 links at that point, and it's just like at that I just don't know what to do because it's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, maybe I can do 5 boss rush into Rika 3 Harvest into 7 shines and secrets, but it just that whole like what if scenario just like I was not gonna willingly think about unless I had to do it. So this is why this play came out right here, and it it was just crazy to me because like
Ah, was a very crazy play, I think.
because like half the people weren't approving of it, and then the other half were like, "This is epic," and then the people, and then
For,
the half that were like, "This is not like this isn't what I would do." When I won it, they're like, "All right, cool," but still,
no, I think this was a very good play. I think.
um,
Yeah. Okay. The thing for me as a viewer is how you can see the Noki play. Like, no, there is no way. Like, okay, now we can see it, but where are you playing and you took these 4 clicks? There's like
yeah,
no way.
because like this entire time, right? I get this, and then JJ clicks that. I'm like, all right, well, we have to just
Yeah.
play a lot of setup and then just click stuff when we get
Yes.
there. I did not know what JJ was going to click out of row 3. To be honest,
You had
I thought it
zero
was going to be
information.
7 shines and secrets at first, and then they would maybe try and invade with Rico Hidden or Rico 3 Hoverless
Hmm.
because those were like the 2 next best goals for me in row 4 that like I could only
In
click one of if I get another goal. Um,
in the stream, I remember we were talking about doing 5 NPCs because actually JJ did uh like one on Bianco, something
mm-hmm.
like that. So we were like, oh, if JJ took 5 NPCs, he can go into Bianco and stuff. And we were like, whoa. But the Nogi play wasn't, at least for me,
Yeah, and
wasn't
then
clear.
like
Wasn't clear.
I saw this Cannonballs click. I'm like, rip. JJ's gonna do Rico Hidden into 1 from each, and I just like I
Yeah.
cry. And then these clicks come out, and I was like, no, dude, I was not supposed to do 5 bosses. Because then that like kind of changed my route into like rushing NPCs into 75
Hmm.
totals. Because like I kind of needed to confirm those first. Like I guess I could have done 5 NPCs and then like go do Pianta 1, Gelato hidden, and then like go to Noki, get Noki hidden while picking up the remaining 75 at the same time. Because I picked up a bunch in Panel
Hmm.
1 after I finished Mecha because that was like I need to rotate to this right now, otherwise I lose 75 totals after JJ clicks
Hmm.
5 from 3. Because like eel into 10 yellow, that's what I saw from here. I was like, okay, JJ is going to be really close to 5 from 3 and then probably has 75 totals in their back pocket. So that's why I made the call to do these clicks. But if I thought about it a little bit more carefully, I could have tried to greed for 1 from each with 75 totals, and then probably still get the Rico hidden and maybe be set up for 9 Delfino. But it was hard to say.
No,
So
it was so difficult.
still depresso, but
No.
one of the craziest matches of the season is for sure, and JJ more than earned it with the most
Mhm.
insane call I've seen in a while. I don't think I've been that outplayed in a bingo match. So props to JJ for going 2-0 this week and bringing it back. They not focused on Sunshine a lot, but they started 0-2 or now are 3-2 at the end of the season. So well played to
Mhm.
JJ for bringing it back a lot. So that is all the matches of week 5. We can now finally review the cursed
Standing.
standings of Division 1. Um,
You will change the title. Oh yeah.
standings and week 6 review.
It's Div 1 has JJ on the top, Rasmus seconds, the Spin third, which is 4, you deadline as 5,
Yes.
and then Dex and Popo are not playing playoffs, so I am the 6th seed,
Yep.
and then the 7th seed is
Ombo.
Ambo, and MD Mason is the last seed of Div 1.
Now, this is so unbelievably cursed because I'm missing a bye by 1 point. Peaches is above me by 1 point. That's so cursed. And then the second curse thing is you got 6th seed and not have to play in
Yes.
adjustment week by 1 point over Ombo. And like, holy
Game
shit,
removal.
Yato, you are Division 1 6th seed.
Yes.
That's-
This is amazing.
That's actually probably the most insane improvement any bingo player can make. You definitely popped off the most over the season. So well
Yeah,
played.
I'm very proud to be. And also an interesting thing is, if Dex and Popo are still playing, I'm still 8th seed of Division 1.
Yes.
So that's amazing.
Granted, Popo would probably be lower because they only stopped playing after 2 matches, which their elo reflects only 2 matches worth, so they might have gone up, they might have gone down. And then Dex played enough matches and was solidly here at what would have been the 6th seed. So, Division 2, Reed tops the charts, 1st seed. Then we have Derp Space, followed by not Tober. Tober will not be playing. So Sided Williams, 3rd, Bread Ghost, 4th, Juketox fell to 5th, Dingamon in 6th seed and avoids adjustment week by 20 points. And then we have Game Stabled and Libre rounding out Division 2 right now. Elias will not be joining us in playoffs, so Division 3 will be listed as Blaze Roll, Schmidt, Darkman, Google Cheese, Earthside, and Tanuki Mario. And then, as mentioned, week 6 is going to be our adjustment week, where the people on the fringe ends of each division will be playing each other for a final adjustment chance to see if they can move up or move down. Which you can see here. One of our matches is not scheduled, which is Libre versus Blaze Roll. But we have Mason versus Reed in draft, Albusher versus Dirtspace in draft, GameStable versus Schmidt in to be decided format. This is on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, so we have a spread out week with only 4 matches. But back on this page,
There is one more match. That's Blaze versus Libre.
Yeah, Libre versus Blaze, which has not been scheduled yet as of this point in time. So on this page, we can show it a little bit easier. So Ombo as the Division 1 7th seed gets to play Derp as the Division 2 seed for a best of 1, and then Mason as the 8th seed gets to play Reed as the 1st seed for a spot in Division 1. And then down here, Game gets to play Schmidt as 7th seed versus 2nd seed, and then Libre versus Blaze as 1st and 2nd seed. So, just in my opinion, I do believe the higher seed players are going to win. In a best of 1, anything can happen, but Ombo is a bit more of a solid router than Derpspace, in my opinion, and then Mason, I think, had the biggest point difference in the regular season over Reed in like week 2 or week 1 with a 13-4. So that was pretty convincing for Mason. Reed got a lot better over the course of the season as well. They are very fast and are very smart with some of their routing decisions. So this is not a guarantee. And then down here, honestly, anything could happen. Game versus Schmidt, honestly, is a toss-up in my opinion, as is Libre versus Blaze Roll, because Libre and Blaze are similar speeds, but Libre just has the experience over Blaze, but might fall victim to some choices Blaze makes. What do you think, Yato?
Okay, this format, these 2 matches of against Stable Schmidt and Libre versus Blaze, I think really anything can happen. Like Game Stable Smith are like I think same skill. Game Stable is more router
Mm-hmm.
preference, and Schmidt is more fast.
Yeah,
So
Schmidt has
and
definitely
also,
improved their speed a lot. So
and also Schmidt can route good. So there's some decision in the we're talking about Smith, and I think the middle game decision can cost him like a lot of stuff in general.
mm-hmm.
But Smith can route really good, and that's the thing. And game stable just route as very solid
Yep.
in general. And the Libera's of Blaze is basic. I think that game will also be pretty close because the two are pretty fast players,
Yeah,
and
Blaze is
it's
reminiscent
like new.
of season 3 Vipa, right? Vipa was new to
No,
bingo and then ended up winning Division 3 season 3. No, Division 4,
no,
sorry.
for
You were a Division 3 winner. Cannot take that away from you. And then here we have Blaze, a new player to bingo, currently in the first seed slot for Division 3 and potentially going to join Division 2 in their first season. So that is pretty hype from my standpoint. So yeah, these two matches are going to be really hype, and then the Division 1, Division 2 matches will still be pretty hype, but should still fall within expected range of Ambo and Mason winning their respective matches. Which, let's say on the flip side, Yato, say you two were swapped and you were the 7th seed and you had to play Derp, what would you play Derp in? Because you lost to Derp recently in Row Control.
our control. Yeah. I think I will play draft against Derp.
Okay.
In general, Derp is very scary in formats like Lookout.
Mm-hmm.
Also showing that the row control experience is pretty good now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think also the season of Derp was really good.
Yes, Derp also
Really good.
skyrocketed from Division 3 up to
Mm-hmm.
high Division 2 as well.
And I think as Ambo, you want to play a format that you can like route pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and draft is that kind of format.
Yeah, Ambo is very steadily becoming one of the best in the league at draft, with just hiding information and playing out their route. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the current standings. That's what we're looking at. Kind of a short week for week 6, but that's to be intended. And then week 7, we will finally be starting playoffs in round 1, which we'll talk about next week.
Ooh.
So yeah, 2 cursed placements in Division 1 by 1 point. I cannot believe the points worked out to be this way.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, so. Because how many matches I played? Okay, I played like
8.
I played. I played seven matches,
Oh my god.
and I ended just 1 point ahead of Ombo. I'm a gamer.
Yeah, Ombo also took a somewhat unnecessary forfeit against Popo in week 2, in my opinion.
Oh right, yeah.
The ramifications of that were not clear to today's thing back then. So, I mean, the forfeit. I mean, it's up to the players if they want to forfeit and not work around a reschedule, but the option was there. So.
Wow.
And then me being 1 point below Peaches is cursed because Peaches took a second match in week 5, which they were only scheduled for 1, but they took a match against Reed. And because they went 2-0, they got 1 point over me. And because I lost to JJ, which I could have won, but I didn't. Pain. So
Hey.
there we are. These are the standings, once again, as you can see. And they may change through next week, but maybe they won't. So I think that is going to be it for week 5's episode of the Inside Line Bingo Talk Show with Deathline and Yato. Join us back here next week and join us on some channel for Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, high PK. So yeah, now would be the time to send us somewhere else.
Who we can
Who's playing Sunshine? Is anyone playing Sunshine?
Dex is playing Sunshine.
There you go. You can send them to Dex.
Okay. Whoop.
And this week we will use the correct Twitch name.
No, wait, I'm writing. Oh, no, okay, I'm fine. Okay.
Bye, PK. You joined too late, my guy.
Latdex _ I'm fine. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
fine.
you're good. You're good. So yeah, join us back here next week. We will be reviewing week 6, which is a short week, and then join us probably on Sunshine Community, but maybe on Bingothon on Thursday.
Wait, not rate you. Why
For
is Dex?
the first match of the
GG.
week.
Dex, give me a good argument.
About to end. Well, just don't end then.
Okay. Cancel the raid.
SB.
SB?
SB.
Okay. Wait, why my keyboard is writing reverse? What? Okay, that's fine. SB runs, right?
Underscore runs.
Underscore runs. Oh, thanks, Ruhira. You're the gamer.
Alright, there we go. Someone.
There you go.
There. You can rate someone. We'll get there eventually. But yeah.
Thanks, Rudy.
Thanks everyone so much for watching our little podcast review show thing, and we will see you next week. Until then, have a good evening and have a gamer night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, someone press the button of raid. Yeah, we did it.